Hello everyone, let's get right to today's paddle. We're going to head north and go all the way to the top of the lake. Right off the bat, we have some trash to pick up. And here's a label that got away from whatever it was stuck to originally. Looks like a balloon. Since I'm over here in the shallow water, I'm going to put my pinpoint metal detector in and see if we can pull up any metal. And I'm pretty certain there's going to be more of this scum to paddle through today. Piece of plastic. See a piece of wrapper. This is a familiar route by now. You can see that I'm better able to make my way through here as the lily pads are disintegrating. It's into the second week of September, but still quite comfortable and warm out. But maybe not so warm to hop out of the kayak into the water. So I'm going to continue doing a little metal detecting. I just found a sharp nail. And in this handful that I pull out of the water is the base of a shotgun shell. I've found some newer ones that still had the hull on them, but these ones are usually just found alone by themselves. And since the writing is still on the base, I looked them up in databases and I can see that many of them were manufactured in the early to mid 1900s. And in all of my paddles, I have found some that date prior to 1900, which is really amazing. Here's a list of all the ones I found today. But of course, I don't know what year that the shotgun shells were actually used for hunting on our lake. It's obviously been developed quite a lot over the years, and there are homes all around the lake, so hunting is now prohibited. Let's continue on and see if we can find any other trash through this sea of lily pads. And sure enough, we have something up ahead. We have a Gatorade bottle. And we have a wildlife spotting. There are a couple of what I believe to be painted turtles basking in the sun on this tree. These guys or gals grow between 7 and 10 inches long. Well, we're off to a good start, so let's keep paddling. Here I find an odd-shaped plastic bottle. And now it's time to reapply some sunscreen, especially because I'm a redhead, as you can see. I think we should look down in the water, see what's going on this time of year. The water clarity is not very good, but I do see a can, so I'm going to pull that out. Here is a pretty feather floating on top of the water with the sun shining through behind it. Got that little bit of plastic out of the water. Now keep your eye out for some little fish. These buoys are very easy to spot in the water. I'm going to add yet another one to my collection. My kayak does have some bungee cords back here, so I can just easily slip it back there and not too hard to transport home. Here's some litter hanging out in this, what we call pea soup. And then as I'm looking around, I notice a weird bug in the water. I don't really want to pick it up, but of course I do. Luckily, this is not a real centipede, but some kind of fishing lure. How funny that I just happened to spot it there. This next find, however, I really don't want to touch. It's a container for either leeches or something like that, and it still has the lid on. It's probably been out here a while. I have no idea what's inside, but I also don't want to drag it home with all of that goop in there. So I just quickly release everything into the water and hope for the best. Yeah, that was gross. And then I find a lid to a bait container, which I'm thankful that it's not attached to its bait anymore, but not thankful that it's out here in the water. And then quite a ways away, I actually find the bait container that looks like it belongs with that lid I just found. And then I find a pack of cigarettes, but it is empty except for the pieces of seaweed that found their way in there. And I am at the very north end of the lake now, so a lot of the litter does find its way here if the wind blows in this direction. And here is a little piece of styrofoam, probably from someone's cup. Next up is a very large jar of some sort. I wonder why it's out here. Oh, and here's a little lid to something as well. But let's get this out of the water. Except you're about to see a blooper. Well, I tried to find it, but I could never find the jar. But I did see this can shining from below. Remember from one of the previous episodes when I'm measuring how deep the muck is on the bottom of the lake, and it's like over 3 feet of muck on the bottom. So if that jar went back down, it's not surprising that I wouldn't be able to find it again. But I feel bad that I dropped it. But meanwhile, here's a plastic bag to pull out, as well as a bobber. I do try to be mindful of any birds that are living in the reeds, but I did scare up this duck. Actually, that might be a green heron. But let's get some more trash out of the water. And on my way back to my dock, going back through the reeds, I find some sunscreen. I don't know. You think it's still any good? Probably not. Our lake is also home to a lot of Canada geese, not Canadian geese, Canada geese. After today's long paddle, I've made it back to my dock and unloaded all of the trash. What a haul! So happy to get this out of the water. Thank you for joining me today, and please remember why I do what I do. It's all for lake's sake. Please give me a like and subscribe. And now for today's bonus footage. One of the cans that I picked up, I was able to trace back using online catalogs. This is a holiday Coca-Cola can from what appears to be 2010. So about 14 or 15 years old.